go now. Get set. Afternoons with Annie.
94.3 Radio 1.
This happens to be 94.3 DD1, your favorite international radio network. My name is Annie and I have a very special guest today. She is a motivational speaker and also an author. She has written this book, which actually is an account of various experiences she's had right from the time she was a child. Every experience that actually designed her personality, designed her thoughts and her mindset. Vanndana Vaadera, the author of Love Bytes, is on the show with me today. Vandana, it's so nice to have you on the show. Warm welcome.
Hey, Annie. Thank you so much. It's actually absolute privilege being here. I was really looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Well, let's go back to the beginning. Tell me something about yourself. I mean, before you thought of writing this book, there are multiple things you've been trying to do in life. What are some of the things that you have really stuck to?
Well, I've been a teacher. I've been a fashion designer. Then I slipped into anchoring stage shows. Then I've been a radio jockey for the longest time. Now I'm not doing any shows, but I've been a radio RJ for the longest time on All India Radio West Music section. Then uske baad I started doing singing. Since I was singing since I was a child, but I've been singing and anchoring for the longest period of time. I started in 1999 and till last year I have been singing and anchoring shows. So I am considered as one of the good anchors of the country. And I have traveled everywhere with my singing and anchoring shows. I'm also a qualified lawyer. I work with my brother's law firm. I work in my brother's law firm. I stopped working now. I used to because I'm getting full time into life coaching and motivational speaking. TED Talk. I've given a TED Talk also on June 25th. I've given a TED Talk also. So I've been doing multiple things, and I think whatever I've done, the one thing common in everything was passion. I did everything with passion, and once you do everything with passion, it turns out to excel in that. I think so.
Nice. And I believe having that adventurous bug in you has also helped you travel to different parts of the world.
Yes. I am a travel hungry person. You know, you just in the whole lockdown when people were sitting in their homes, I was traveling the hills. Sometimes I was in Landor, sometimes I was in Mussoorie, sometimes I was in Chopta, sometimes I was in Chamoli, sometimes I was in Joshimath, sometimes I was in Aulis skiing. Now I'm sitting in the hills again. I'm sitting in Mukteshwar. It's so amazing, and our country is so beautiful. My God, you have to it's like a layer of a cabbage. You have to peel it, one by one, one by one.
Yeah, you're actually the total opposite of what the worry and concern people have had for the past year and a half, which is to stick back at home, not meet with anyone, and not travel because you're really, really worried. I believe you've been a solo traveler all throughout, or at best with your father. Yeah, and so following protocols and regulations may have been pretty easy, or you've ensured that they are followed so that you do not catch an infection or you do not pass on the infection to anyone, and you seem to have been pretty successful. I have to talk about your adventures because you have listed some of them here, including meeting some of the Hollywood stars and of course Bollywood as well. So don't go anywhere. This is Vanndana Vaadera. She is an author, motivational speaker, life coach, and now that she's mentioned, a lawyer and a fashion designer. Well, there are quite a few titles she wears on her sleeves. Don't go anywhere. Afternoons with Annie.
Here we go now. Get set. Afternoons with Annie.
94.3 Radio 1.
On the show today with me is an author, motivational speaker, fashion designer, lawyer. Now, of course, with her book, which is her very first, Love Bytes, she has narrated and put in the accounts of all the experiences, most of the important experiences of her life that have actually changed and molded her to what she is today. All those experiences that she's drawn strength from. So, Vanndana, adventures. You've put up pictures in this book with John Travolta, with so many of your other friends who've lived in different parts of the world, and every time you travel, whether it is Glastonbury or Stonehenge or these beautiful places, even for that matter, catching a leopard in the middle of the night. Okay, you've written it out and described it beautifully, like you are passionate about every little experience that you have absorbed and made it your own. Tell us about how you've had this bug and a little about your, travel sojourn.
I've always had a passion to meet people. Even when I'm sitting in cafes, I'm observing them. I try to sketch out a detail. I have no problems talking to strangers, I make friends very easily. I get myself invited to their homes for the evening, for the night, to stay the night over. And in the morning, I help them in the kitchen, cook. In Hamburg, I shot my music video solo, all alone. I carried a DSLR. I carried a backpack. I used to have some wigs and hair extensions inside it and some t-shirt changes. It was a rock song. It was like, Meri jeb mein paise nahi hai, chalana chahu Mercedes car. So it was a rock song, Hindi rock song. Hum hai rock sitara. It's amazing. Traveling, making friends, getting to know the place, falling in. When you're traveling to a new place, you romance with everything that comes your way. You romance with the buildings, you romance with the people. You actually, because if you're full of love, it comes naturally.
Right.
If you are a person who's an ocean of love, like my Guruji Dadashi says, you have to be an ocean of love. You have to be a giver. It'll start coming back to you.
It's lovely to also see the different aspects of, what's shaped your personality that has come through these chapters you have. Whether it is, well, if I have to talk about a brush with lesbianism, for that matter, that you have written about, and how very solidly in the end you say, I'm straight. And then, of course, your story of being arrested on Holi or Berlin or Jane Austen Revisited or a misfortune part 2 that happens in your life. And then, of course, the mystic, magical fairyland Glastonbury. There's a lot that you put together. And what is also beautiful that comes out of this is that you have sketched all of these experiences out, like you remember every leaf of that experience. And that's great because all the way back to when you were just 3 years old, where you even lost your older sister and you saw that happen right in front of you, the traumatic experience that you had after that at that very young age, and the family went through right from there all the way up to being such an extrovert despite being in an abusive marriage. There are so many different layers you have put in this book, and that's really, really beautiful. I'd love to talk about that as we go along and how you use these experiences in your motivational talks and as a life coach to inspire others and give them some sort of direction. And of course, inspiration is what I think this book, Love Bytes, is all about. Vanndana Vaadera, an author, and yes, of course, by being an author, fashion designer, lawyer, and so many other titles that she gracefully wears on her sleeves. I think Vanndana today is a successful life coach as well. And don't forget to check out the book Love Bytes, by the way. Stay tuned. This is Afternoons with Annie.
Here we go now. Afternoons with Annie.
94.3 Radio 1.
Vanndana Vaadera, she is a fashion designer, lawyer, author now with her book. This is her very first, Love Bytes. I believe, Vanndana, you have already planned for like a number of books to be written, and you have these subjects already clearly laid out.
The subjects very clear. See, one book is already ready because I've been writing Hindi, Punjabi, and English songs since 1998. So I have a collection of 70 songs. I will call it Hippunglish. So now I'm planning. I've already copyrighted them since I'm a lawyer, a copyright lawyer only. So I'm going to get them typed, and I'll give it to a publishing house. And I call it. I had titled it Meera Sangiti. So now I'll title it on my father's name also, Meera Krishna Sangiti. Then another book is on mental health. Is Mental Workouts: A Pathway to Abundance. That's the second book. And there is another one that I'm planning to write on my father, because he was very precious to me, and how he's groomed me, how he taught me Urdu, why I'm such a voracious reader and a great speaker, because of the parents you have, the way they groom you. He used to teach me Urdu, how the difficult life he had, how his parents got killed in Pakistan. So it's a very beautiful story. So these three are already ready with me.
Wow. Going back to your childhood, and that is one of the first chapters in this book, Love Bytes, where you've narrated of the incident where you being the youngest in the family, along with your brother and an older sister you had back then. And and since your father has always been with the army, you all were traveling extensively every 3 years because you would, be posted in a new region altogether. So that experience of watching your sister be crushed to death and then your mum going into this trauma, which took a while for her to come out of, and the effect that had on you, both the death of your sister as well as your mum being a little away from you because she was finding it extremely difficult to cope with it. What are some of the extremely, I think, facets that changed your personality after that? What did you draw from this experience? How did you hold on to strength and hope after that?
The thing was, after I came out of the trauma, I started having epileptic fits. And then when my mother started looking after me, after 3 months of neglecting me, she was the one who actually made me, she empowered me. How? She made me participate in plays and fancy dresses and theatre. At the age of 3, she put me on stage for a play called Kanjus Ki Theli. She made me start reading classics. Charles Dickens. I think at the age of 5, I was reading Charles Dickens, Jane Austen's. So I think the power came from her.
Right. And then later on in your adolescence, what you also went through was an early marriage, which turned out to be an abusive one. Again, you were at a point in your life where when you were expecting, when you were expecting the best to happen in your life, it was pretty much the worst that you took from it. But yet again, you put your life back together. Your mom had to play a big role. You've narrated that beautifully in this book as well. What are some of the things that shaped your life thereafter?
What shaped my life thereafter was courage. These are my sanskars, I call them, as I teach in my course, Enkindle the Phenomenal You. These are my sanskars. It was courage, happiness, love, adventure. These things actually carved these 6 things, adventure and...
Here we go now. It's Afternoons with Annie.
94.3 Radio 1.
There have been some devastating and tragic incidents that have shaped her life. Vanndana Vaadera, who's turned an author with her debut book Love Bytes. It's available on all platforms for you to pick. Her intention is simple. If life beats you down, you need to learn to pick yourself up. You will have a lot of mentors and people supporting you that you may find in your family and friends, but you need to get up and keep moving on and reach new heights because you can do it. Possibilities are endless. It is inspiring and it is the story of a person right next door. So if we can motivate ourselves, why not? Let's get ourselves out of any kind of slumber we may have fallen into because of the dark times we've been through the past year. And if there is someone's personal experiences that we can take this little inspiration from, Love Bytes by Vanndana Vaadera it is. Well, with that, I've come to the end of my show. And I'm going to leave you with a song that's just fit for you to have on your playlist, at least playing in your mind for a while, maybe through the entire weekend, till I meet you again on Monday, 12 noon, 94.3 DD1 One World, your station. My name is Annie and my show's called Afternoons with Annie. Coldplay and BTS with their new single, My Universe. Perfect, isn't it? Ta-da!